Hello people, how are you? And welcome to my channel Our Art 3D. In my videos here on YouTube, you are going to learn SketchUp Basic, Intermediate and Advanced SketchUp. If you want to get your certificate, just download our video called How to Receive Your Certificate of SketchUp in Our Art 3D channel. In this video, we explain you step by step everything you can do to get your certificate after you do the SketchUp course. After you finish your intermediate course of SketchUp, you may get your certificate. And after that, we are going to teach you advanced SketchUp. And when you do advanced SketchUp, modeling course of SketchUp, you may get also your certificate as advanced of SketchUp. So see ya. Hello people, how are you? And welcome to more one tutorial with our Laredo here in our Art 3D channel. So in this tutorial, people, we are going to learn how to create a covering of a home. So it is the last tutorial of our basic SketchUp course. So people, let's start. We have here many coverings of homes. We have one of one water, of 2 waters, 4 waters, 8 waters, 10 waters, and 60 waters. So people, in the last tutorial, I created a simple covering like this of 60 water, but I'm quite sure maybe you didn't understand pretty well how I did that, so I created a special video to teach you how to create a covering of a home. So what you have to know, people, firstly you have to draw the plant of your covering. Many people, they do it in AutoCAD. Even me, I prefer to do this in AutoCAD because you must take the angles of your covering, of the structure of your covering, and you draw that. I know you are going to ask to me if it is possible to create a covering without draw the plant, just cover quickly. It is possible with just a cover without draw the plant, but it's very complicated. I don't do that, so I advise yourself as a teacher to draw first the plant as I did here, and after that you cover your covering. Alright, so people, remember you must take the angles of your plant before you cover that. I already talked the angles. I already did the angles of my coverings. I already did design this, and I designed the plant not in AutoCAD. I did it in SketchUp same. You may draw the plant even in SketchUp, and after that, after you design quite well, you take well the angles of your covering, and you draw the plant of this. It's just you cover this. And how do you do that? So you must take the pencil. For instance, I'm going to start here in one water. You take the pencil, you click here, you drag it up, and you give the height of your covering according to your project, right? So for instance, the height of my covering, it is 2. I'm going to click it 2. Let me go back. Control Z to go back. You click here, and when we're using pencil, right? And when you see the sign of blue, it means it is up. And now you may type the number of the height of your covering. For instance, my covering, the height of my covering is 2. So I'm going to type 2. It's just you lock here. It's just you lock here, people. Blue, type 2, enter. And now I'm going to take a rectangle, click here, and drag it up to here. And after, it's just to take the pencil over again, pencil, click here, and here. Click here, and here. And now that's closed. And it's already created our covering of one water. And to create the second, it's just you do the following. Click here, drag it up. You see the signal. When the signal is blue, it means that it's up. If it is other color, it's not up. When it is blue, it means that it's up. Now you type, for instance, 2. It's the height of my covering. After that, you take triangle, click here, and you drag up to here. And now it's just you cover this. Click here and here. Click here and here. Click here and here. And that is finished. And it's already created our covering of one water. Is it possible, teacher, I do it in another way? Yeah, that is possible. For instance, I'm going to click in Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. I'm going to type, to drag it up, blue line, and I'm going to type other high. For instance, 1,5. Just and click enter. And now I'm going to cover this. Click here. Click here. I'm going to take the eraser, delete this. You take a push pull and you drag it. Let me see. Enter. You may do this. Take it. Put it up. 1. Type 1,5. Yeah. And now you see. Click here and push pull, and you drag it. Take a push pull, and you drag it, and that's done. And you know, the part gray can't be up, must be into, and the white part must be up. So you click here, Control, click here over again, right side of your mouse, and clicking reverse faces. Yeah, and now that's good. And our covering of 2 waters is created. Now let's take our covering of 4 waters. So you click here, drag it up. It's not in the right line. It's not in the right line. Let me, for instance, type just for you see that it's not in the right, that the line is not up when it's not blue. For instance, if I type 2 and enter, you see the line is not up, it is down, because it wasn't in the blue line. Control Z to go back. I'm going to click here over again. It is in blue line. Now I may type 2, enter, and then now you see the line is up, because when it is in the blue line, it means the line is up. When that's not, the line is not up. You can think that it is up, but it's not. So you take now rectangle, click here, and drag it up to here. Now what you have to do, take a pencil, click here, and make the connection. Remember that when the angles are right, when the angles are well done, when you cover this, that's gonna work. If the angles have problems, of course, when you cover that, it will not work on. Because the problem it's not in the way you are working. The problem is in the angles, because you must remove well the angles. And that's why I advise yourself to do it in AutoCAD first, because in AutoCAD you analyze the angles and everything about it. And now, our covering of fourth water, it is created. Now let's take the 60 water. What you have to do, the same we did right there, it's the same we are going to do right here. We just going to obey the structure of the plan. For instance, click here, blue line, to enter. Let's take a rectangle, click here and here, rectangle again. Rectangle again, and you drag it up to here. Now, obeying the plant, you just take the pencil, click here, drag here, click here, drag here, click here and drag here, click here and drag here, click here, drag up to here, click here and drag up to here. And now you take the option select, click here, right side of your mouse, reverse faces, and that's done. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 waters, and we did it. When the angles are right, when the structure of your plant, the plant of your cover is right, of course when you cover this, that's going to be right. It's just you practice, people. You just have to practice. There are not a lot of secrets for you create a covering. Now the same thing here. Click blue line. I'm going to type 2. Enter. Now let's take a rectangle. Click here. Drag up to here. Click here. Drag up to here. Click here, drag up to here, and now take the pencil, cover this, and you cover this. Yeah. And now you take select the two, select control, select other part, right side of your mouse, reverse faces, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words, a covering of 80 words that's created. Now let's take the 10 water. The same step, C. Click here, blue line, type 2 or other measure according your project, according the height of your project. Now you take rectangle, click here, click here, click here. The same step, click here. Now click here and drag up to here. And we created this. Now it's just we cover this. Click here, click here, click here, click here, Control Z, click here, click here, again click here. In the point, you have to see well. Click here to don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. Click here, drag up to here, and now click here and drag up to here. And our covering of 10 waters that's created, people. You see? Now you can go here in paint. Click here. Go here. Tile, if I'm not wrong. No, it's not here. Where is it? It's roofing. I'm sorry. Click here. Choose roofing. And now you click. You may paint it. You may paint it, people. And if you want, click here and increase the size. And now you see it is created. So people, now you just have to practice at home and take care when you are putting the angles, when you are creating your coverings. Take care with the angles, because the angles must be right. You know, it is a rule. And the structure of your covering must be well drawn. And after that, it's just you carry that and on SketchUp and draw this and cover this. There are no secrets. I will not people created the woods of the covering, because here in SketchUp to create the woods of the covering, it is very complicated. You will spend a lot of time. I really don't do that. Sometimes I do, but I use a plugin. I'm going to explain you better. Firstly, I'm going to save this. Covering. Covering lesson of SketchUp. And I'm going to keep. Yeah. Now that I save it. Yeah, people, like I was saying, the woods of the covering, I usually don't create it on SketchUp. I prefer to do it in AutoCAD. Why? Because in AutoCAD it is more easy. It's very easy. You do it in AutoCAD. So when you do it on SketchUp, you are going to spend a lot of time. Usually I don't do that. It is better you use a plugin to do that. Usually when I do that, I use a plugin. For instance, if you see here in my computer, I have two SketchUps. The SketchUp that I'm using, it's the version 2017, but I have two versions. I have 2017, 2016, and I've also the version 2018. Okay, in version 2018, I have a plugins call it 101 bits. Just you check it out. 101 bits. There are a lot of videos how to install this kind of program, so I won't do this because I don't want to do the videos whom people are every time doing. I don't like repeating the same things that people usually already did, right? So I'm going to open my SketchUp 2018 because right there I have a plugin. That plugin that I sell right now, 101 bits, and I'm going to teach you to show you how you can create the woods of a covering, how I do to create the woods of a covering. And if you also want to create the whole thing of this, you may do that using that plugins. So let's open this. I'm going to click here twice, as we do ever in all versions of SketchUp. That's open. If you see my SketchUp 2018 to open, it is taking a lot of time because it is installed that plugins that I said 100. Not 1,000. I'm sorry, 1,001 bits, right? The program is 1,001 bits, not 100. I'm sorry. 1001 bits. It is take a lot of time because that plugins, it is very heavy. It makes your computer very heavy. That's why I don't use it every time. You may download these plugins on Google just to check it out. 1001 bits plugins of SketchUp, and you're gonna find this. Or looking for a tutorial on YouTube, I'm quite sure you're gonna find this. There are a lot of videos, a lot of guys they already did this. So it is taking a bit of time. Yeah, people, the plugins 1001 bits is already opened. Remember the name of the plugins, it is 1001 bits. Okay, it's already opened, and I'm going to copy this, but before I select it to copy this, I'll go here and I'll paint it white for you to see better when I be working there. I'm gonna copy just the one. Oh my god. Yeah. Clicking Control and clicking C, Control C, Control copy. And I'll go another version of SketchUp and Control V. Control V. Control V. And that's here. Now I'll click enter. People, I want you to know that usually it's not advisable. You select when you want to open a project in another version, you select any copy. Don't do that. I'm just doing this to give you an example. What you have, the right way of you open a project that is in another version to add a version is you close your SketchUp, you go at your project, click in the right side of your mouse, and choose in the version you want to open. For instance, I have two SketchUps. I did discoverings. I did design discoverings in SketchUp 2017. But if I want to open another version, right side of the mouse, and I'll open with SketchUp 2018. But I'll not do that because I don't want. And now, people, other thing that I want you to remember before we do the things I want to show you. Remember one thing, people. During the course, you learned that to take a tool, you have to go here. But sometimes you don't need to go here. You can use the tools of control to take these tools of SketchUp that you're seeing right here. But here in the version 2017, that's the version that I'm using, it doesn't work. I don't know if it takes place because the version that I'm using of SketchUp 2017, it is free, I don't know, but it takes place. Even in the version 2017 that some friends of mine they use, it also takes place too. The tools of control, it doesn't work. Right, but in other versions like 2015, 2014, 2018, 2019, and so on, the tools of control, it works. I don't know why just in the version 2017 it takes place. Maybe at your computer the tools of control in the version 2017 it works, so that's good, but here it's not working. So I'm going to give you one example. If I go here and click in P, nothing will happen. If I type M, nothing will happen. If I type E, nothing will happen. But if I go another version of SketchUp like 2018, 2016, 2015, 14, etc. But here I have 2018. I'm going to give you one example. If I click in P, the tool push pull going to appear. I don't need to look for where is the tool push pull. That's not necessary. If I click in M, If I type M in my computer, the tool move going to appear. If I type in C, the tool scale going to appear. If I type in here, eraser going to appear. If I type R, the rectangle pencil going to appear. If I type A, the other two going to appear. If I type key, other two more going to appear, rotation. If I type O, this is two of rotation of to rotate our project going to appear. You see? So if you want to know the tools of control of SketchUp, just type N in any letter you have at your computer, and you are going to find out. You see, the letter T is our measure of SketchUp. You don't need to look for what is measure, just type in T and it's going to appear. And when you want to click to take the tool select, just click in enter and the tool select going to appear. You click in T, measure going to appear. You click in move, in M, you type M and move going to appear. You type in P, push pull going to appear. O, and our rotation going to appear. And our rotation of going to appear if you type key. O, our rotation of the project going to appear, and so on, people. So now let's talk about the plugins 1001 bits. These plugins we use to make modeling, to create a modeling, but we learn it in advanced SketchUp course. I'm going to teach you how to use all of these things that you're seeing right here. But now I'm going to explain you just about creating a covering, right? Now, how can you use these plugins to create the woods, people? For instance, I'm going to click enter to take select, the tool select, click here, and I'll go here, and click. When I click here and create rafters, see what's going to appear. You see, it created me the woods of the covering without giving me a lot of work. Now imagine if you are doing this, you are creating this step by step in SketchUp. It's better you use a plugin to don't take a lot of time. You click here over again, go there, and it is created. You may do it in all part of your project. These plugins, people, you can find it on Google, just look for. And if you want to know how to install this program, there are a lot of videos on YouTube. There are a lot of people teaching how to install the plugins 1001 bits, right? It is here, 1001 bits. There are a lot of people, so I won't do the same video that they are doing, because there are a lot of people teaching this. So you may download the plugins, and after you download a video to install this. And this program, people, is also very interesting, because when you don't know pretty well how to create a covering, it helps you so much. It creates automatically coverings and hoofings. This plugins is a very interesting plugins. You may use it if you want. For instance, people, if I take a rectangle, drag it here, I'm going to click in select. I'm going to select it, and I go here, click, and click in create a hip hoof. See what's going to happen. Automatically, it created me a covering. If I click in again, rectangle, E, you see I'm using the tools of control. Go here, create a hip hoof, and you see it created me automatically a covering. That is a very interesting plugin. And other thing that you can do with this plugin is to create a hoof. To create a hoofing. For instance, I'm going to click here, select here, click here, and create a metal deck. Now I can go here, click, and you see it created me automatically a hoofing. Create a metal deck. You see the same thing here. The same thing here. The same thing here, select, create a metal deck, click here, create a metal deck, and you see people, with these plugins you may create the woods, and you may create the hoofing, and automatically you also using these plugins you can create your hoofing, you can create your covering, right? You may create covering, woods, and a hoofing, right? So that is a very interesting plugins. I'll go here in view, animation, add scene, stop this, and after that I'm going to save it. Lesson about covering, and I'm going to save this. And now I'll go ahead and file, export to D, and I'm going to save it. Now I may close my SketchUp. I'll close this SketchUp too, the version 2017. I'll go in Windows, go here, and we have here our image, people. So in this lesson we learned, people, how to create a covering step by step, and how to use a plugins called 1001 Bits to create the woods, the covering automatically, and to create a hoofing. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and people, bye bye, see you in next lesson in pre-intermediate SketchUp course. Bye. These courses have the backup of ABmail Constructora. ABmail Constructora ever helping you even for far away. Thanks.